center, and you playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and our running back coach didn't take the pass. biggest biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show, powered by MaX Sports. It's a Tuesday edition of the show. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling. I want to encourage you to join us on Tide 100.9 and WTBC 1230 a.m. on your radio dial. You can also join us on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter under the handle of Martin Houston 35, as well as MaX Sports and Tide 100.9 and the Martin Houston 35. So all of those will get you into the show. If you're driving down the road in your car and you would like to interact with us, then you're always welcome to pick up that phone and call 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. That's the Alabama One hotline that we are live and local on. And then also you're always welcome to join us on the live stream and let us know what you got going on there. Respond to us, react to us, and we'll work you into the conversation. We're going to have DC Capstone Report joining us for the entirety of the show as he do each and every Tuesday. We'll have no X today. So going to hopefully be plenty of time for you to interact with us. So go ahead and make plans to do that. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, DC. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, Martin. Doing great. How about you this morning?
Doing well, DC. Working through getting everything that anytime you have a new equipment, they did some upgrades on me, so I'm having to relearn a couple things on my side of the ship. But I think I got everything working this morning for the most part. So we'll see how it rolls. Y'all let us know if we deliver a good product this morning. So it's all on you, DC.
Well, I'm ready for the challenge. I hope I'm ready.
I can tell you that it definitely helps when the Tide wins to make the product on Monday through Friday a little better.
That's for certain.
Yeah, so we'll talk today. We'll run down a similar path, just based on how this show rolls out. Similar path to what we did with Kennington on yesterday. We'll we'll have our talk with you a little bit about your good, bad, and the ugly. We'll talk about what's happening in terms of maybe your turning point. What you thought was a turning point in the game. We can look at mid-season grades on the players and the coaches if you want. And then we can also talk about homecoming coming up, chance for hopefully Alabama to work on some things that I think are still missing from this team. But good for Bama to get the win over Texas A&M. And once again, not sure if Jed picked it up, but Jed Cohen out of Cherokee, North Carolina, won the prediction contest. So he goes into the year-end swag pack giveaway. So hopefully we're trying to work on some things, DC, with this Alabama Always, trying to figure that whole program out, and may actually have some officially licensed stuff in the swag pack. We'll see, instead of just some branded stuff. We'll work through that. So, DC, as we roll into today, I guess let's instead of starting with the good, bad, and ugly, several things in that game could be viewed as turning points. What did you see as some candidates? Let's talk to some potential candidates as turning points. Could have been good or bad.
Well, I think several times in the game we saw some turning points that kind of helped Alabama win this game, and I think the number one turning point was, in my opinion, was the quarterback play for Jalen Milroe in the passing game. I think Texas A&M started out to stop the run, take away the run, and make him beat him, throw him, and he did just that. Had a career day throwing the ball. So I think that was a turning point when he kind of maximized his ability to throw the ball in the game. That's a kind of a candidate. I think another turning point in the game is seeing Jermaine Burton finally realize his potential as a wide receiver, and they obviously saw a matchup there that thought they could take advantage of, and he did just that in the game. I think that's a potential candidate. But specific plays, I go to the defensive side of the ball, and I think Caleb Downs' interception right after the interception that Jalen Milroe had thrown was a huge, I think, turning point for the defense and also for the entire team as far as momentum building. And I think the blocked field goal was huge, even though we had the penalty that called the touchdown back. It was still a huge momentum swing. And then the getting the safety in the end zone there, and the play of the defense in the fourth quarter, especially getting that. I think three of their 5 sacks came in the fourth quarter, maybe 4 sacks came in the fourth quarter. But just the play that they just overwhelmed the offensive line with the defensive line play in the fourth quarter, second half of the fourth quarter. So I believe all those are candidates for turning points in the game. And you may have had even some more. There's a lot of swings in this game.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely so those were definitely turning points, DC, and one of the turning points, and I'm gonna play this one, DC, to let this is kind of a series of turning points, I guess, as you play it out, but when you look at this particular play, um it could have been a turning point for them. Then it was a turning point for us, and then it wasn't. And so this is first and 10, 26-17 with 3:27 to go in the game. And this is what happened.
You haven't done anything yet. Johnson loads, throws complete. Anaya Smith down the sideline and in. Touchdown A&M. Smith's a slot man to the right.
As you and I both know, that play, DC, looked like it was going to be the turning point. But then Bama's defense proceeded to absolutely bow up and take over that game in such a way to prevent them from scoring. You take, you know how they say 3 or 4 plays, DC, make the difference, and it's a game of inches. I think you can kind of sum up all of that in that little series of plays right there, because if he gets in, it's a touchdown, and it's 26-24. How different you feeling? You know?
Yeah, big difference. Big difference.
I mean, so and every one of the other plays to me were turning points. But when our and so I don't disagree with any of that. I think all of those were turning points, and probably several others that we didn't mention. I mean, like DC, the play where Milroe gets hit in the back and fumbles, but our offensive line recovers the ball. You know, huge. But when you take everything that happened in that game, the defense, how good is this defense, or how good did this defense at least play on that day?
Yeah, I agree. The defensive play in the game against Texas A&M on the road against a very quality opponent, especially with the big offensive linemen they had, showed me something. And they showed me that they could dig deep and get a little more when needed. And they showed me that they were resilient to the fact that they didn't give up. I mean, I'll be honest with you. There have been times I felt like our team previously under another coordinator would get down there and wouldn't be able to hold them in the red zone. Wouldn't you would be within the 10-yard line, 7-yard line, 5-yard line, and they just couldn't bow up. And this team had the gumption, the resilience, if you will, to bow up. And so I give them kudos. I feel like it's one of the best defensive teams Alabama's put together, and it's been getting better every week. It's not there yet. I mean, the potential is even be better for this defensive team.
DC, think about they had their first 2 drives red zone, 3 points. Mm-hmm. They had another drive with 3 points. No points, and I think they had 4 drives and had 6 points in the red zone.
Right.
That's playing championship level defense. Simi and I were talking offline. Since the Texas fourth quarter, do you know how many points this defense has given up in the second half of games?
I don't know for sure. I mean, it's not much.
Less than they gave up in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's when they gave up against Texas.
They've given up. I think it was they gave up 7 to Mississippi State. 10. I think 10 to and then they had 3 against Ole Miss. So
Right.
They have literally, and they haven't given up but 3 points. I think that was the first 3 points in the fourth quarter that this defense gave up since Texas in the fourth quarter. First 3 points.
I agree 100%. I think playing Texas early in the season really helped this defense, give them a barometer, if you will, of where they were and what they had to improve on. And they've gone out, like I said, improved every game and still have the potential to improve.
Yes, absolutely. And if you look at that game, the miscommunication in the fourth quarter cost us dearly. Cost us throughout that game, but dearly in the fourth quarter. It appears that the communication, whatever was going on with that, whatever change they made, whatever, it appears to have worked, because even when, other than that one drive against Ole Miss, we've not seen guys running wide open in the secondary. We'll be back. We'll keep the conversation going. If you want to get in on it, the Alabama One hotline is open, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. We have DC Capstone Report on the line with us today. You can get in on it as well.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we got a wreck. 2059 westbound is at the ramp onto Covered Bridge Road. That's exit number 86. Major delays on 359 southbound at Skyland. We're hearing it may be construction. We're not sure of the reason. If you see other conditions, please give me a call, 205-886-8886. Now get $2,000, $4,000, up to $8,000 in instant savings at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
All of the West Alabama high school football scores every Friday night all season long on Tide 100.9. High school score updates brought to you by 4th District Congressman Robert Adderholt.
Join Tide 100.9 this Friday from 12 to 2 for Fridays at the Free. Come see Lars Anderson and Matt Coulter for Big Noon Sports live at Innisfree Irish Pub, Tuscaloosa's best bar for 25 years and counting. Innisfree's Irish Pub has delicious pub food with an Irish flair. Come have the Innisfree Lucky Lunch, a delicious meat and 3, while Lars and Matt get you ready for the Bama game this weekend. Fridays at the Free, every Friday during football season with Tide 100.9 and Innisfree Irish Pub, located at 1925 University Boulevard, downtown Tuscaloosa.
No, I think it was a combination of both. I think that, we mis-ID'd some plays in terms of who we were blocking and where we're going to. And, I think we missed some things on some of their stunts and pressures. Their front seven is really good. And we had some other plays that, if we finished blocks, we'd have had much more productive plays. So we got to do a better job of finishing. But we also knew that, going into the game, that it was going to be tough sledding up front, and we were going to have to be able to throw the ball effectively. And I was very pleased with that part of it. Still got to work on protections, but on how we protect the quarterback.
That was Coach Nick Saban talking about the lack of the running game. I have some disagreements on parts of what he said, other than the fact that we couldn't run the ball. And we'll get into that. But before we do that, have to pay some bills. I want to thank all of our great sponsors, including Alabama One. Alabama One, go check them out, alabama1.org. We have 20 physical locations to serve you spread throughout the state, ranging all the way from northeast Alabama to south west Alabama, Cherokee County, all the way down to Bruton, Alabama, and everywhere in between. And we invite you to stop by one of our branch locations somewhere near you. And if you can't get to one of the branch locations, just go to our virtual branch via alabama1.org or that app that you hold in your hand, the Alabama One app, and you can do all your business there. We'll be glad to help you. You can still get all the loans, make the deposits, open the accounts, and get entered to win the big getaway giveaway that will end at the end of this month. We're going to be giving away that $5,000 vacation packet via gift card. So go ahead and make yourself a winner. That's alabama1.org. Alabama one together. What's your one? All right, DC. I'm going to let you respond first to Coach Saban and his reasoning behind the run game. Yes, Texas A&M wanted to make us one-dimensional. Yes, they did. And I would have to say successful. Virgil Williams brings up a point. He says, I keep hearing people say how Reese really stepped up in this game as an OC because we threw it so much. I just don't see that. All I saw was his inability to help out his quarterback and use his talents. We had 0 QB runs, 0 running back runs, off tackle or sweeps, no screens, and never move the pocket. Reese has got to make a change in philosophy to help our offense get better. I'll let you respond. You can talk about what Virgil said. You can talk about what Saban said, or just give your take on our inability to run the ball in our OC.
Well, I understand what Coach Saban's saying. I don't think he's going to say anything bad about any of the coordinators at this point in the season. That's not his MO. That's not what he normally does. But I disagree with him to some extent. I agree with Virgil Williams to some extent. Here's my take on it. We didn't come out and commit to running the ball in this game. We came out and ran one play in this game in the running package. There was no creativity in the run game. There was no commitment to run the ball in this game. There was no moving the pocket to run the quarterback. There was no screen passes. I think they threw one screen in this game. This game was very susceptible to a screen pass. And then I guess the one thing that jumps out at me of all the things when I'm talking about offensive coordinator is on the play that Milroe threw the interception. We run a fake on a running play that we've never established that we would run.
We ran it the first drive. I think it was the first drive or the second drive of the Middle Tennessee game. May have been this first.
Yeah, I'm talking about in this game. We had not established it in the Texas game that we would run that play.
We hadn't established that we would run it all year, much less the
No, we hadn't. So we fake a run. A fake is supposed to be something that the safety will bite on. The safety wouldn't bite on that play because there was no reason for him to. We'd never run it. He'd never seen it before. He'd never run it before. So we fake a play, he got nobody's attention, and especially the safety's attention. He goes back and intercepts the ball in that situation. Now, in another situation where we had run that play twice before already in the game, maybe 3 times we've run it in the game, and then we come back to it there and then throw it deep, then that guy's probably a touchdown. That safety's not in position. He's already took a step forward when that play is going that way. So that play works if you actually use it that way. But I don't think our offensive coordinator did anything in this game to help our running game or help our quarterback in the passing game, play action passing game, because you've got to establish the run before you can play action pass. So I don't see the dedication to the run. I know Texas A&M was going to be good, stopping the run. They have good players, but we can still run something other than a straight up the middle play, and that's what we ran each time. I agree we need to run more. If we're going to dedicate to run the ball, we need to show some creativity in the run game. And I know we have more plays than that one play in our playbook. I would think.
DC, two things. One, you're saying creativity, and I'm going to change the word. I think I know what you mean. We don't need we need to get something else before we even get to creativity. We need diversity. And
how about some diversity?
Yeah. And I'm going to come back to that. But to that specific play that you're talking about, that wasn't third down.
No.
They had seen something that made him call that particular play. Be patient and run it. Like literally, just think what would have happened if he had pitched that ball and then came back the very next play and made it look like the same play. If you go back to last year's touchdown to Jermaine Burton on the last touchdown that Jermaine caught Saturday, that quick slant, it's a skinny post, quick slant, whichever way you want to call it. It wasn't a full slant. I don't know what they call it. But last year when we came out, he faked it to Jameer. I mean, we ran it to Jameer. Jameer had like a nice run. Boom. We come back with the exact same action. And he pulled it and threw the quick pass to Burton. Boom, touchdown. If we do that in that play and come back to it the next play, it would have happened. It would have been a touchdown. And so, that's the type thing. Like we need some patience in the run game first. And here's the thing. Either way, the next time they can still coach him up on that play, because the reality of it is, DC, and this is where you make your quarterback better. He saw that. If he throws that ball just a little bit further, the DB can't get there. And Nyblack was running away from him, but he threw it kind of to the inside of him. So that's growth opportunity for Milroe. Even though it was a good play, they saw something, or he has to line it. He just can't. He kind of got caught in between. Too much air and not enough distance, and that's why that was able to be cut off. But back to the creativity versus diversity, okay? Creativity is things like Spurrier used to do, where he had the counter pitch, where the the running back would start to the right and they would pitch it to him, and then he would plant that foot and they run the counter back to the other way. Creativity is, you're running and look like a pass, and you do like a underneath handoff or a shuttle pass or we just need diversity. We just need to run something other than guard right, guard left, up the center's butt. We didn't run off tackle. We didn't run a power. We didn't run a lead. We didn't run a sweep. We didn't run anything. I don't even know if we had read. It wasn't even read option. That was just a zone. I mean, that was just a give. And that's what's my frustration is when you sit here and talk about Texas A&M run defense, They didn't have to play run defense. They played pass defense and tackled the running back on the way to the quarterback.
I agree 100%. We didn't even see a trap play or draw play in this, which would have been perfect for this kind of rushing lineman. We didn't see anything like that, and I agree 100%. I thought about what you used to say, Martin. Coach Stallings' philosophy on running the ball, and I thought even Coach Stallings would have told him to run to something else after running it so many times up the middle like that.
Hey, DC, let me ask you this. The fact that we'd had 0 call runs, and you and I spoke earlier in the week, I think that there may have been more truth to your inquiry than I'm trying to give Tommy Rees benefit of the doubt. And so I'm going to say that our conversation last Tuesday or Wednesday, our text conversation, may have had more validity than we think. Miro was hurt. His hamstring was pulled.
I think maybe the reason he's not running the ball more.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe that's why they didn't call a single run, and he only scrambled, to me, I think, past the line of scrimmage one time.
Yeah, and that's possible. And they were just hiding that nicked up injury. Not that enough to keep him out, but enough to keep him from hurting again.
Yeah, they didn't want him to do anything to run unless absolutely necessary. Give him that benefit of the doubt. But the diversity in
I know a couple of times after a sack, he did walk off a little gingerly, and I think you're right about that.
Yeah, that would be the that would be the only thing that would make me think otherwise. MHS 0407 keeps saying this has happened to Bama before. In 2021, Bama had only 6 rushing yards against LSU at home. Who's the offensive coordinator in 2021? Who's the offensive coordinator?
In 2021?
Uh-huh. That sorry?
It would have been Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien?
Yeah.
I was actually calling for Bill O'Brien Saturday, so that's how bad.
I was calling for Major Applewhite.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad I felt.
Hey, here's the thing. We used to say, and we're going to get the break after this, and we'll come back with a little bit more conversation. We used to say that.
I'm sorry, I was about to call for your caller, Martin, that has the moving van. That's who I was about to
Alan?
call for. Go ahead. Yes, Alan. I was about to call for Alan.
Yeah. I don't think he put the right year in there. I think he's talking about the year we went on to win the national championship. And he put in 2021. I don't know if that's the game he's referring to. I don't think he has a year right. We got several other plays. I'm gonna get you players of the game. I got a special guy who I think deserves player of the game. I'm gonna play a little series of plays coming back from the break and see what you think about this being a game-changing moment for this young man and for Alabama. We'll talk about it right here on the Martin Houston Show, powered by MaX Sports with DC of DC Capstone Report.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we still have a wreck on 2059 westbound. This is at Covered Bridge Road exit. The delays on 359 are easy. If you see other conditions, please give me a call. Now get $2,000, $4,000, up to $8,000 in instant savings at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
A lot of Canoli's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal. or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
You could win a Dodge Challenger RT or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You could be a winner too. Come win your share during the Challenger RT and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings October 27th and 28th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
It's back, the Captain Ray and Randy College Football Forecast Show, where we pick the winners against the spread. Join me and Randy Smalley Friday evenings at 11, right here on Tide 100.9. 15 minutes of fun and information. It's presented by Randy Smalley Floor and Tile.
They're back. The 2023 Alabama Crimson Tide football season is on Tide 100.9. Saturdays are game day all day, starting with the Tide 100.9 tailgate show, hosted by DC and former Tide star Christian Miller. Listen as they take you to the sideline and the locker room for all the latest game day news and insights that will get every Tide fan ready for kickoff. Don't miss the Tide tailgate show with DC and Christian Miller on Tide 100.9, powered by Pearl River Resort, your destination for casino thrills, family fun, and live entertainment.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
In trouble.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. We don't have Xavier today, but we do have DC Capstone Report on with us this morning. So, DC, before we get into, I think was a potential player of the game, C.J. Watson and others are talking about improvement in the O-line play. What were your takeaway from the O-line?
I thought we did show some improvement in the O-line play. Now, you got to take away the pre-snap penalties. I thought that was a bad part of this game, but the pre-snap penalties were caused a lot by the noise. I've been in that stadium. You can't hear the person sitting beside you. The noise is so loud. So I understand that, but I think the offensive line play, if you take away those pre-snap penalties, was really improvement. And I like the insertion of Jaden Roberts, number 77. I think I mentioned it to you during the game. Just love the passion that he played with and the nastiness that he played with and moving the people along the line of scrimmage. So I thought there were several times we got a really good push on some really good hefty defensive linemen, especially in the fourth quarter. And I was very pleased with the pass protection. I think Caden Proctor's made some improvements. We still let some runners in, but it was usually a back not picking them up or a back being occupied by another blitzer when it was a hot route that didn't get picked up. So I think it was improvement.
I agree, but you and I probably disagree on the pre-snap penalties. I think everybody plays in stadiums that are noisy. No one has 9 penalties. There's more going on, DC, than that. A couple you can give to the noise. The rest is something that's going on. Either it's officiating that is targeting us. I mean, it could be that because you go back LSU, Tennessee, Texas A&M last year. Go back and look at all of our double-digit games. They're all on the road. Okay, and you can say that's all noise, and if that's all noise, then we need to figure out what everybody else does on the road. That's my opinion. But I also think, DC, we have trained our offensive linemen to be this big running team, and we bragged about all these big bruising guys, and we don't use them that way. We're asking them to pass block, more than we are to run block. And I think they're slower. It's just what it is. and the defensive linemen are faster. And Alabama used to cause people to get more pre-snap penalties because they were quicker and more athletic on the defensive front. We're now the victim of that. I think guys are cheating a little bit. That's why you get pre-snap penalties before the snap. Either your coaching don't know how to teach you that, the officials are targeting you, or you're trying to get ahead. You just can't block that guy in front of you. And I hate to think that the last one, but I think that's some of it too, because that's where we struggled in the pass game. So, and what do you do in that case, DC? Hey, how about running some screens and some draws and some run plays?
Screens and draws help your
lineman out. I mean, I'm telling you, it's all right. Speaking of that, give your OC a grade. I don't think I ever let you do that.
For the season or for this
mid-season grade.
D.
D. Just D. No minus or plus, just D. You know, and the only reason I didn't.
I could have said a C minus, but D is what I expect. But when you add the Texas A&M game in there, I'd say a D.
The only reason I don't give him a failing grade is we have seen Milroe grow as a passer. Is that him? True. Is that him, yeah. Or is that just repetition? I mean,
I'll give him benefit of the doubt.
See, here's my frustration. I think we could have saw this 4 or 5 weeks ago if you make him the starter and give him reps all summer, and get the timing down with the wide receivers instead of this whole, hey, we got 3 guys that may be the starter. I mean, reps matter. Real quick, reps matter, DC. And I don't know if you saw this at the NFL level. And Chris Collingsworth, isn't that his name, that does the Sunday night games? Used to play for the Bengals.
Yeah.
I love he's one of my favorite analysts because he does a really good job. He said he was calling the Dallas and 49ers game, and he compared Trey Lance, who came from North Dakota, to Brock Purdy. He said, guys, Brock Purdy played 40-something games. He said, the dude has had his reps. Everybody goes, oh, who has the biggest arm? Who can run the fastest? Who can make this throw? Who can make this throw? He said, who has learned to process information because of repetition? You can't manufacture processing information. I don't care how big your arm is. I don't care how talented you are. You have to learn to process information. What has happened? You can't fake timing. Brock Purdy doesn't have the biggest arm, but neither did Tom Brady. But those dudes repped and they got the playing time. You look at the timing that's beginning to happen in this game, and you kind of project forward. If he continues to grow like he has, he could be a really, really, really good quarterback by the end of the year. All right. DC,
I agree.
DC, this could have been a monumental problem for Alabama had Superman, I don't even know what to call him, had not come to the rescue. But listen to this play right here.
End zone to punt.
Great punt.
This time he got a hold of it.
Holy cow.
And Smith goes on the other end. One hop, the 23. One man misses. And now more do. And Smith heading to the edge. Smith down the sideline. And Smith still on his feet. That's what he is so dangerous for. And he just ripped off another long punt return. Great place to set up shop.
DC, when you look at that particular play, DC, that play could have been even more game-changing than it was, because we know quickly after that they got their touchdown, right? But how concerned were you? Because up until that point, they had lived on our side of the field. And I was like, oh, no, our punter's gone. Who's going to be our punter? Who's going to step in? Oh, my goodness. And Reichert delivered immediately. I mean, he came in and, you just look at that and go, he has to be one of the candidates. You're not going to think about it, but he has to be one of the candidates for players of the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think what we have in Will Reichard, we underestimate. He doesn't get the kudos that he needs. I mean, he is by far what I would consider the best kicker in football, place kicker, and kicking it in the end zone, keeping it away from people. But to come in on the spur of the moment and punt the ball, I know he practices it sometimes, but we're talking about now there's something else that you have to do. And against a nice rush and against a raucous crowd, and he comes in and hits one and does a great job of it. And then it doesn't get him off of his game on kicking the ball. You don't have him punting for a reason, I would think, because he wants to concentrate on kicking field goals, but that didn't bother him when he had to come in and punt. So I was very, very impressed with him. I would say you're right. Superman title on him is really good.
Another key game. I mean, don't forget, he laid it down at the 1.5, 2 yard line, and that cushion ended up being what made all of us breathe a little easier down the stretch as he set up the safety.
He did.
So
he did.
Absolutely awesome job by him. Who else did you have for players of the game?
Well, I look on the defensive side of the ball, and I could have picked a lot of folks because there were so many of them that did so well. At one point, I see a picture of our defensive line rushing the quarterback, and the center and the guard on Texas A&M are laying on their backs. They've just been pancaked and rolled over, and that to me gives the epitome of how good the defensive line did. But on that defensive line, I picked Tim Keenan. I think he had his best game by far as a Alabama football player. Just really bowling over some of the players. So Tim Keenan was my defensive specialist in this game.
Yeah.
I had Will Reichard as my special team specialist, just like you did. I thought he was the best on special teams.
Yeah, and I like I said, I had him up for overall for that game because he just, I mean, field position is so huge. And if we are not able, I thought, man, they have been living. And if we don't flip that field a couple times, it's a different game. The plays you can call from your 50 versus the plays you can call from your 20, from the 50, not your 50, from the 50 versus what you can call from the 20 is totally different playbook. And they lived in their wide open playbook. And we still stopped them in the red zone in that first half. Second half, they had to go, and they just couldn't do it. And so coming back on, go ahead, real quick.
No, I said that's right. You're exactly right. Field position was huge in this game.
Coming back on the other side, we'll wrap up the conversation. We'll get your thoughts on a couple good, bad, and ugly, and we'll talk about Arkansas and anything you may want to share, DC, that you want to get off your chest as we wrap up this Tuesday edition of the Martin Houston Show, powered by MaX Sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we still have a wreck on 2059 westbound. This is a Covered Bridge Road exit. The delays on 359 are easy. If you see other conditions, please give me a call. Now get $2,000, $4,000, up to $8,000 in instant savings at Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Tuesday morning. A toxic chemical linked to cancer is on its way from Wisconsin to West Alabama. The forever chemicals, called PFAs, are being shipped to the Chemical Waste Management Hazardous Waste Facility in the tiny Sumter County town of Emil. More than 38,000 gallons being trucked to West Alabama to that facility near Livingston. Questions are being raised about the shipments to a majority poor Black community. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
This month at Pearl River Resort, we're giving away a Curtis Stone cookware set. This 6-piece collection includes everything you need to cook up your favorite fall recipes and game day classics. Earn points Fridays and Saturdays in October to receive a unique piece of the set each week. Score big every time at Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
A lot of Kanoli's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. As a data rate may apply. Studies available upon request.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by MaX Sports. It's a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning. We're live, local, and got things rolling. We got DC on with us. In DC, we have a couple callers that I want to make sure I get to. We asked them to call, and I had overlooked them. So let's get Todd on first. Todd, you're on the line with DC. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, Martin, DC, man. Thank you for taking my call. Guys, I just can't say enough about Mill Road dropping them bombs Saturday. Hey, shut all them folks up about, how he can't pass the ball, man. And he's been my man since the last Texas A&M game last year when I sat there and watched him warm up and play that game, and everybody was just bad-mouthing him, dogging him out. Man, I'm just so happy for that young man to be successful Saturday and build his confidence. And, man, I hope he's not hurt, though. I mean, you guys, have y'all heard a report that he's got a hamstring issue?
I have not heard it. Go ahead, DC.
Yeah. Well, I would not heard a report. Nothing's been done official, but there was issues on Wednesday's practice that from people that I know on the inside, they indicated that he left the field for a time to get some treatment on a hamstring, and then came back and played the rest of the practice and practiced all day Thursday and played the full game on Saturday. So maybe not an issue, maybe just a tweak, maybe just a pain or something that they experienced. But I think they just they don't want it to morph into a big issue.
Absolutely. Anything else you got, Todd?
Man, and that left tackle, I don't know what it was, the reason why he got pulled out during that game. Maybe it was the attitude adjustment. Maybe it was a attention getter. Let him know, look, we don't care where you come from, how big you are, how bad you think you are. We got somebody that can back you up, and you can't get it done, brother. And he came back in and did a lot better. So, man, I know I've been hard on that young man. So I know he's gonna do great things at the University of Alabama. So I'm really hoping that he continues to get better in the game.
I agree with that, but I still think the other guy's better. I mean, I'm just being real. I think we're better offensive line with Pritchett than we are with Proctor, but that's because Proctor's young.
That's the only reason. Yeah.
Thanks, Todd.
I think the only reason that Pritchett didn't take the starting job at the beginning, Todd, was that he was injured. I think that. And I've never thought you lose your job by injury, so I think Pritchett is the better starter.
We'll see what ultimately happens. Thanks, Todd. Now we have Philip. Philip is you're in with DC Capstone Report on the Alabama One Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
The punting game. I want to see what you guys know about burn up and who can step in to help out, and so that they won't have to use Rijkaard for every single kick.
The reality of it is, you have to think that's really not that many kicks. I think as long as it don't mess up his swing on his field goals, I mean, I don't think you have to worry about Reichert in the kicking. That would be my only concern, Philip. It's sort of like if you baseball player, if he ever starts swinging for the fence versus just swinging to get hits, that leg swing, I guess it could throw it off. But you have to think. Hopefully, you don't use your punter more than 3-4 times a game, and hopefully you're scoring touchdowns and not field goals. So you're talking about 8-10 kicks, man. You know how many times those guys kick the ball during practice? I don't think that'll be an issue. The question is, will it throw off his stride or anything like that? Your thoughts, DC?
Well, I hope
Yeah, I
it's not
agree.
an
I think
issue.
the only thing I were concerned about, Philip, is whether or not it's going to throw off his timing on his.
Which I don't think it will, but because there are guys who do.
I don't think it will. I think he's going to be fine.
What else you got?
Yeah, well, I hope the running back situation. I've been harping on this all year. One thing you do get with Tommy Reeves that we haven't had in the past, going back for many years, it looks like with Reeves it's a 1 and 2 back deal all year long. 22 we had Gibbs, Jace, Roydell, Jan Miller, and Trey got carries. 21 we had Robinson, Trey, Roydell, Jace, and even Demoy Kennedy. 20, we had Najee, Brian, Trey, Jace, and Roydell again getting carries. This year, it's pretty much just Roydell and Jace, and that's it.
I would be – I don't know, and I'll let DC respond to this. Philip, I don't know if we're getting enough offensive plays. Our running game is so anemic a lot of times. These guys aren't getting that many carries. If you go back and look at that, the top 2 guys aren't getting any more carries than the top 2 guys got before. It's just not enough carries to get to the third and fourth guy is what my concern is. And I don't know. That's what it appears. Sometimes what appears to be the case may not be the case. But if we got more production in the running game, maybe we would get to those guys. But I could be wrong. DC, your thoughts?
I agree with that to some extent, but I also think there's a difference of philosophy. I think the difference is that we're not committed to running the ball. Therefore, we're not getting enough carries, so we're not getting to the third person. But again, I think the focus is on passing the ball, and they don't have confidence in the third and fourth running back to pick up the blitzes. And so I think that's the reason that you're seeing the 2 running a lot. I think again it goes back to we're not committed to running the ball.
And I can't say that I haven't seen the other 2 block. I've not heard. I heard that in the spring they both were able to pick up blitzes and stuff like that. Never. You go back to the summer, and we were told the running back room was the deepest it's been in a long time. So what happened? I don't know. What else you got, Philip?
That's it. We are where we are. So hopefully keep doing well.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Virgil pointed, I said, we're not putting games away to allow the backups to play. DC, anything you want to say? Any closing thoughts on Saturday's game, and then your thoughts and score for Arkansas?
Well, someone want to get off my chest, I guess. You said I could do that, and really, I don't want to. I hate to harp on this, but you alluded to it earlier, and I really believe that the officiating has been a little biased toward Bama during these games. There were several calls in Texas A&M game. The cheap block, the blindside block, which was the blindside block rule was definitely not put in place to stop that little push.
Well, he wasn't blindside because blindside means you turn back. He was running side beside him.
Running side by side him. And so that was not a blindside block. And then when Chris Braswell just touched he barely got his fingerprints on the face mask of their quarterback, and it's a passing a 15-yard penalty for hitting his head. When they slammed Melrose head with their hand several times, they didn't get called for a face in the head of the quarterback. So I mean, those things are blatant, and it's getting worse and worse. And like you said, I think every time we go on the road, we're gonna face that because now we have been tabbed. We've been tabbed as a team that scores a lot of penalties.
And perceived running quarterbacks do not get the same protection as pocket passers. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I agree.
Mark John.
Yeah, I think it's a little tough.
Yeah.
You know.
And Mark John said there were penalties called for pre-snap movement Saturday, and on the replay, it didn't look like anyone moved more than one time. DC, what's your thought?
A lot of times they were moving. Texas A&M was moving, and even the announcer said, "I think they drew them off that time."
The defense can
Well,
move.
they called it
Defense
Alabama.
can move left and right before the snap, but I think they were also, because it was a silent count, they were saying things, and they can't do. What you can do is you can move and shift, but you can't simulate a snap count when you move. And I think that's what they did a couple times. That time we got the 3 in a row. I think their movement and their noise is what was going on there. What you got for Arkansas, and then I'll let you tell us who supports you.
Well, coming up against the Arkansas game, I think it's going to be a perfect game for us to establish the run. If we will run more than one play up the middle, I think it's a good time for us to do that. Arkansas does not cover the run well. They don't do a good job of that. I think on offense we can really run the ball, and we can really do some play action passes in this game that's going to really get some deep shots. So I expect us to really have a good deep threat in this game. A lot of explosive plays, a lot of good running the ball.
DC, we need to put some stuff on film for Tennessee and LSU to practice.
Yeah.
If we don't put it on film, if we don't give them some running plays to look at, it's going to make it a longer day. Not that we can't win those games, but it's going to make it a longer day. We need to make them respect the deep ball, the play action pass, and a diverse running game. Agree with you on that.
Tell us. I mean, we got to do that. And defense, I think we just got to really, really watch. Don't let the quarterback beat us. He's hard to bring down. As long as he doesn't extend plays on third down, we get off the field. I think our defense.
All right, what's your score?
Alabama 42, Arkansas 21.
All right, got about 30 seconds. Tell us about your sponsors real quick, D.
Well, RollTideBama.com, FreelancePictures.com, some of the best websites for Alabama content, especially for homecoming. He's going to have some great pictures up there, so Lance does a great job with that. And as always, I'm able to be on your show for Karen Cottingham, Realtor with the Williams Group right here at Keller Williams in Tuscaloosa. For all your real estate needs, reach out to Karen Cottingham, 205-887-4008.
All right, that's DC Capstone Report. He joins us every Tuesday to help break down what we got. Go check his podcast out at DC Capstone Report, DCCapstoneReport.com, and you can hear more about what he had and his key takeaways and players of the game, his good, bad, and ugly, and all of that and more at DCCapstoneReport.com. Thanks, DC. We'll catch you on next week.
Thanks, Martin. Have a great week.
Roll Tide. All right. Hey, I'm Martin Houston. That was DC Capstone Report. X is out on assignment. Hopefully he'll be able to be back with us on tomorrow. If not, I'll be back here at the same bat time, same bat channel for more of the Martin Houston Show, powered by MaX Sports. Remember this: trust in the Lord always, lean not on your own understanding, and all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, and chatters for being a part of the program. Roll Tide out to everybody on Tide 100.9 and WTBC 1230 AM.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.